What's going on, guys? Welcome back to our Let's Play here on the Bedrock edition. Now we're back over here next to our ice farm. This thing has been working out an absolute treat so far. So as you can see, we've got one spruce hardwood slab for some reason, but over half a double chest of ice now, and that's only from I think 2 or 3 harvests. We are actually going to be working back over in this area at some point today, but I'll show you what I've done with the little transportation system. And that is where we've got our water. The only issue is going up and downstairs using this sort of transportation thing, but if we manage to get swimming and we just head straight down, and then it's only a 1 wide gap all the way over to our man cave. It doesn't take longer than a minute or two to actually get over there. But I have been doing a lot of work in between episodes, and I've managed to finally get all of the cosmetics done in our villager trading hall, which is extremely good. It took me a total of around about 6, maybe 7 hours to actually get done. There's little bits of redstone here and there that I actually had to get done in that place as well, which is always fun and games working over there. But I think I've got the majority of it completely spawn proof. And then we just come up here and we're in our man cave. Nice. Open that and close it. So yeah, this just leads to our little gateway where we've got our little water feature just on the left hand side there. Very discreet and out of the way to get back and forth. Now before we head off and do any work on anything today, my other character's there again sitting behind the thing. I've made him leave us out the couple of shulker chests that we're probably going to be using in today's episode. So what we will do is we'll throw them in an ender chest. I've got, you know what, I'm just going to leave that random stuff in there. So anything else that we're probably going to need? Let me head on over this way. I'm going to need some black wool, so I think there's one spot in our new villager trading hall area that is actually still spawnable. But I'll take you up there now and show you all the changes that I've made. And as you can see, the England flags are still flying high with extreme extra detail in this texture pack, because England's managed to make their way through to the semi-final, which I'm very, very happy about. Now in here, I've gone with the design that I had, and I like it a lot, to be honest with you. It looks very nice, neat, polished. I've got glowstone underneath this carpet that runs down the centre. Done the sort of choosing pod thing where we select whether we want to keep them or send them. Redone that. A couple of redstone lamps just to sort of tie in with the rest of the build. And then I've gone with a dark oak wood. I've also then chose to do stone walls going up at the back and stone walls going up at the sides, just to sort of break up the dark oak wood, because it was getting a little bit much. I'm not 100% keen on the way the ceiling goes up at that little bit over there, but there wasn't much I can really do with that. Now, I showed you how it was going to look beforehand, but this is how it looks in its entirety. So if we hop up here, now all up here is completely spawn proof. These are all bottom side half slabs. This section here is obviously double high, but we've got some glowstone up here because this wall was very, very dark. And then we've got glowstone up in between these bits underneath each section. That's what lights up all of our windows at night time. So all of this is spawn proof. We've got the fencing on the logs, which makes them spawn proof. We've got glowstone there, glowstone there. I've got plans for this big wall back here, but I'll probably take a hit at that in the next episode. That's not going to be for today's episode, unfortunately. So yeah, this is sort of like the complete framework of it. Obviously inside it now looks a lot smaller than what it did initially. We've got a little secret doorway here which takes us through to a maintenance section where we've got an absolute ton of villagers which we're going to be going through in a moment or two. But before I do that, I did actually do a test run with one villager just to make sure that he stayed alive while I was AFK in this area. And by the looks of it, we've had no spawns. There's only one spawnable spot that I know of, and that is directly above them oakwood logs. But then even if a baby zombie did spawn up in one of them, that he would then have to make it down to this level without dying and then somehow make it over the oakwood fence in order to be able to get down there. so I can't see that being too much of an issue. And there's also the possibility of stuff coming off of the railway lines. But I've tried my best to make all of that area sort of unspawnable as well. I've added in another side to our door for the cathedral over here. So now it opens up on both sides, and then we've got this big maintenance hatch here where it's completely hollow. I'm planning on having farms either side, like over there and one over there. I'm thinking probably a pumpkin farm on one side and maybe a melon farm on the other. Get some farmers in here, do some trading, get some emeralds. And yeah, I've been looking around to see if there is any spawnable spots. What I am thinking of doing is getting carpet and maybe putting it up on the edge here, because minecarts I do believe can still travel through the carpet, but if there's an entity like a mob, they can't actually walk up through a carpet, which could be a plan to actually avoid having to go through another whole bunch of villagers. But yeah, I'm quite happy with the way that it's turned out. And like, we've got tons of room all the way back here, and then we've got tons of room in either of the towers. And each time I try to enderpell up onto the attic area, it enderpells me up onto the roof for some reason. As to why that happens, I have no idea. Oh, I forgot this character hasn't got a light drop. I was just about to try jump off. That wouldn't have ended well for me. There we go. Let's hop down here. And then we go back through our door. Yeah, so this door is done on a timer system. So it opens and you've got more than enough time to get through either side. And then when I was building it, I done a button here, button that side, and I realised, oh no, I'm sort of stuck in the middle. So then I ended up having to add another button here. So I could possibly just do like connect these two doors onto each other. But I was thinking for this middle section, it's mainly going to be redstone and sort of maintenance areas. So I wasn't really too worried about the way it looks. But yeah, I'm quite happy with the way the sort of trading halls worked out. Now, let me go and see. I did test it once, but whether it's consistent or not, I was still having the odd issue where... Oh, librarian. Fire aspect, will keep him. Always having the odd issue where one wasn't wanting to go to the right. After one dies in the lava, it tends to be, they tend to always face the opposite way and the minecart won't travel. But you can then always kill them in this spot to then make them, or then just to send the minecart itself over. You're a butcher, you can go away. See, I can hear him dying now. And then we've got a cartographer. We're actually going to need one of them because I have no... there you go. Wow, he chose to take the really slow route. Yeah, so we're going to need a cartographer because obviously our last one died and I need to know where Woodlands Mansion is. We want to be keeping clerics as well because we're getting ridiculous amounts of rotten flesh. So we're going to want a fair few of them. I'm yet to find a not a cartographer, a cleric. See, this is what I mean. When one dies over there, they just really don't want to go in that direction. I'm yet to find a cleric that has more than a 2 glowstone trade, because I know that in the console and Java edition they could trade up to 3 glowstone, but I'm yet to find one, and I'm hoping to be able to find one. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to quickly go through the rest of these villagers, and I'll bring you back to show you what our end haul is. Okay, I've gone through our backlog of villagers, and I've managed to fill out our haul pretty nicely so far. As you can see, only one of the white coats is a cartographer, the rest are all librarians, so I've got to go unlocking all of their trades. The clerics, I'm going to go through them once I lock out their trades of rotten flesh. If they haven't got a high enough glowstone trade, then I'll probably just dispatch them. I've kept a couple of the basic farmers, so when we do get a melon or pumpkin farm up and running, we can trade with them. Because they're sort of like pumpkin trades, there's usually about 15 or 16, you could get like 4 emeralds at a time doing a trade. And we definitely need to get a more OP sugarcane farm up and running for the paper. But as for rotten flesh, we've got ridiculous amounts of it, so unlocking these guys, and I'm nearly out of glowstone, so it will be dead handy to have them there. Now, this is how many I've kept. 2 out of every 3 I was killing, and what is it, 16 either side? So 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So I had nearly about 100 odd villagers that was just sitting there waiting to be sorted. And I think that's mainly because where we were at our ice cube farm, our new ice tray, is within loading distance of the villager breeder. So when I came to over here to work on it, I came up here and there was just tons of them backlogged, which is a sort of a double bonus from working over there. Now I did double check as well. Putting carpet there does still allow the minecarts to go through, but it does not allow entities just to walk through. So like I can no longer jump up there, and there's no spawnable spots up there. So now I'm not too worried about stuff managing to spawn back here. The only bad thing is I'm a little bit worried if a zombie manages to hop in a minecart and go and attack them. So we're just going to knock that one off for now, just until we've got some more villagers ready, so we don't have that issue. The other issue I was running into was them getting stuck at the top and not actually falling into the selection slot. So I removed one of the logs and I've just done the track facing downwards, and that got rid of that issue completely, which is an extremely simple fix, but I may need to do a little bit more decorating behind there now, just to sort of like make the backdrop of it a little bit more better. But I am quite happy with the way this place has turned out, and now we've got a bunch of new villagers for me to go through in between episodes and go unlocking trades. So I think before I go wasting all of my paper unlocking their trades, I'm just going to see if they manage to survive for the next day or two. But before we go moving on to the project I actually want to crack out today, I wanted to show you what I managed to find, because no one really sort of spoke out against me using the, what resource pack is it? If we go on to our settings, global resources, the X-Ray for Seeders Pro Pack, which allows you to pretty much see through the terrain and the ground to look for spawners, in order for me to look for like an octo or a triple or quad spawner. And I actually spent quite a lot of time looking for them. Now, where I built my aquarium, I sort of dug the tunnel. You could still probably see it if we go to this angle here. That thing over there where the signs is where I dug like 1,000 long block tunnel over to an ocean in order to get dolphins over here. Now, clearly the dolphins didn't fare too well if you didn't see that episode. But when I was digging out, I came across a mineshaft. So then I chose to open my world in a creative copy. So this world's still completely survival. You can still get achievements, but I tend to copy my world every now and again, open it in creative in order just to test certain things out. And using the X-ray thing, I decided to go and check out the mineshaft, and you would not believe just how crazy it is. Is my guy still sleeping? Because my other character on the computer is not. Let me just do that. Let me hop over into Creative Copy and I can show you exactly what I found. Okay, so we're over here in the Creative Copy of my current Let's Play world. Now, in this area here where you can just see the sandstone sort of dotted about, is where I've managed to get the dolphins from. Now, my base is about 800 or 1,000 odd blocks over that direction, but this is the mineshaft I actually came across whilst looking for the dolphins. Now, I explored it for around about 2 or 3 hours in my actual Let's Play world before I sort of gave up, because I just kept on exploring it, and it just didn't seem to end. And yeah, there seemed to actually be a reason for that. And that was purely because it doesn't actually end. Now, I don't know if this is just a thing in my world that has happened, or if it's meant to be this way for all Bedrock versions, but it starts at around about 0, and it goes completely in a diagonal, so it goes in the positive on the X and the negative on the Z, and it just keeps on going. Now, I have followed this thing, and I just carried on following it for a good 15 or 20 minutes. Now, I followed this mineshaft all the way up to about 8,000 and minus 8,000. and it was still going at that point. Now that's over a 8,000 block long mine shaft, and it's not a thin mine shaft either. It is ridiculously large, and it's got around about 5 or 6 layers to it. So yeah, trying to explore that, I could have spent weeks and weeks and weeks exploring it, and I would never have actually reached the end. Like over here is where I got my original dolphins from. Like you can see a couple swimming around there, next to the ruins underneath the ocean. But what I did manage to find while looking in here, if I could get the coordinates of the right one, because as you can see already, like there's mob spawners dotted about everywhere around here. You've got one over there, one there, another one there, another one there. Now trying to find them within close enough proximity of each other in order to have them active while being there was pretty hard actually. I spent a good few hours around looking before I decided to come over to where I initially found the mine, and then I thought, well, I might as well just head over there, have a little look to see what it looks like from this sort of view. And yeah, it just keeps on going on and on and on. Oh, I'm not sure if it's replicated in some way because the middle structure of it seems to be pretty similar going all the way along. Like you've got the joist things that carry on, so we just carry on flying in this direction a little bit. Sometimes it glitches out with this texture pack, and sometimes it takes a minute or two to load in. But you can see that it's carried on here. It is still just as massive, and it carries on going all the way along there, and all the way along there. It just keeps on going. But we are actually looking for, I do believe it's like 850 and minus 850. So if we head over into this direction, so we're at about 8, oh, no, that's about 950. Let's head just a little bit more over, and that's our 850, and we're at about minus 850. So this section here is, yep, it looks like it's underwater, but it's not. It's just where the gravel and whatever blocks are invisible. So if we then do that, and then we start seeing again. Now we've got a double mob spawner just there. We've got another one which is just over here. So you've got that one over there. And then there should be a third one which is over here. Well, a fourth one actually. So it's really hard to actually get around in this view because you can't see what blocks are here or not. Now we can get all 3 of these ones active at the same time if we're at the exact right location. So that's 1, 2, and 3. So that's our triple mob spawner. Now I'm not calculating the poison spider spawners in this either, because then technically we would have how many spawners? You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, you'd have 5 spawners that I can currently see that would be active from this spot. But what I was thinking is that obviously we're not going to be dealing with the poisonous cave spiders because they're just a major nuisance. They're only a 1 by 1 by 1, which means trapping them and making them take enough damage in order to be one-hit kills mixed with the 2 high mobs is just a major hassle. So we're going to be dealing with that one over there, them 2 just down there, and then what I was thinking of doing is having a 2-man 2-man pentagon spawner. So you'll have 5 spawners all active at the same time, and you'll have 1 character signed in who would then be making, I do believe is it this one over here? Yeah, it's this one over here, and I do then believe it's that one just over there also. I've got trying to find the blocks when they're invisible to hit out of the way. It is a bit of a nightmare. So if we just sort of dig our way randomly over this area here. Now, as you can see by what I mean, it's just the mineshaft just carries on for absolutely miles. And from this spot over here, there is one particular spot that you can have both of these ones active. It was very particular though. So I do believe, let me go down just like so. So that one's active, that one's not, that one is. there's like one spot here that you can get both of them. I know that there's one spot here that we could get both of these ones active. I did actually write it down. It's like 850, 12. So we actually want to go down by 2, and then it's minus 814, which should actually be here. Yeah. So as you can see, we can get that one active, and we could get the Skelly spawner, which is one of the main ones I wanted, because I really need the sort of like bones for bone meal in order to start doing auto farms. And also you get the extra benefit of having yet another cave spider spawner active from this point. But yeah, this isn't going to be a project that we're going to be tackling today. It's going to be one that's actually going to take a few episodes to get through, because it means digging out a massive sort of area around here. Because we're then going to have to try our best to funnel all of these mobs into like one sort of collection area, all the 2 higher mobs. And yeah, clearing out this area with this many cave spider spawners, like you've got another 2 spawners, caves ones just over there. And then there's like loads of different mob spawners around here as well as you sort of go through the caves. And just me being here for a couple of minutes, you can just see the amount of mobs that have spawned everywhere. So it is going to be a bit of a nightmare trying to clear it out. But what I'll probably do is, in between this episode and the next one, I'll probably work on actually clearing out that area. Like, I've mocked up the coordinates of the actual area I need to clear out. It's something like 50 by 50 by 40 layers. So it is a fair bit, but it shouldn't actually take too long, considering quite a lot of it's going to be hollow because it's actually built within a mineshaft. But yeah, this thing is it's absolutely ridiculous. It does just keep on going on. Which way are we heading? We're heading in the wrong direction. We keep on heading this way. Yeah, so like I said, I've spent a good few hours just flying around in this view, like seeing if I could find spawners now. Obviously, going along this mine shaft, you get the odd spawner, like you've got one over there, you've got another one built into it there, and then it does get a little bit glitchy here and there using this texture pack, and then you sometimes have to wait around for the area to sort of load in, and you've got to make sure that your simulation distance up to the right amount. Can I get around, please? How high does this mountain go up? There we go. And then it's all started loading in, and now it's not loading in. But if we just keep on going a little bit. Yeah, it's weird. It's like rendering chunks by chunk now, and I'm not sure if that's because I'm recording or not, but yeah, as you can see again in the distance, it does carry on at this sort of width all the way across. It runs across the bottom of this dark oak forest, and then it just keeps on going, and then it runs for around about 20 or 30 odd different biomes, all the way up to 8,000 that I flew before I sort of just gave up and went, well, yeah, it's just, I don't know if this is going to be the same in your world or not, but if you find a mineshaft and you think, oh yeah, I'll spend 20 minutes or so trying to clear it out, and it is the same case as this, that yeah, you're never actually going to finish doing it. So I don't think that I'd bother. But it is something to do and explore, and the reason that I finished exploring it after about 2 or 3 hours, that was purely because my inventory was completely full. But if you're looking for spawners, the outskirts of these mine shafts are definitely a good place to go. I've also noticed in the Bedrock sort of generation, the spawners tend to be a lot closer to the surface than they are to Bedrock. They're usually between Y50 and Y30 that I've seen most of them spawn at. You do get the odd ones here and there which will spawn really low down, like that one over there, but the majority of them do spawn much higher up, in case you're looking in your world. Either that, or you could just use the same sort of texture pack that I'm using and discover things that I would never have known about, like the infinite mineshaft. But yeah, we're going to hop back over to actual Let's Play world, and we're going to start on a little bit of a project today.